You're listening to WGBB, Long Island's oldest radio station. I'm Brad Nellis.
I'm Scott Honickman.
And this is Nonsense News Nation, your news with a comedic twist.
Coming up in just a few minutes.
Ever try Frenching an octopus? Find out why you should never do that.
The solution to the problem of seagulls stealing your snacks may be easier than you think.
Karma catches up to a ketchup thief.
An Indian man chooses to cut his birthday cake in a unique way.
We reveal for the very first time the Bagel Boss Boxer.
A man in China sings his lungs out. Ohio lawmakers have a fail that benefits the entire state.
And you heard of millennials getting jobs. What about Pokemon?
All this and much, much more coming up on Nonsense News Nation, only on WGBB, Long Island's oldest radio station.
Scott, you nailed the intro. Congratulations for the very first time doing that. I'm just blown away. Can you do the whole show by yourself?
I don't think so, because today I don't not only have you, but I have someone else with me too.
Oh, really? I mean, this is radio. I can't really see who's there. Who is there today, Scott?
My good friend Ben, to the right of me.
Hey, what's up?
All right, Ben, welcome to WGBB Studios. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
You're going to do a lot better when we share some crazy stories, because that's what we do. So a fun fact about Ben, we're getting him along the lines to help out with a podcast for Nonsense News Nation, with some branding, marketing. So this is his tryout. We're going to see if he passes. So no pressure. I know this is summer vacation. You're off from school, but this is the final exam. We're skipping the midterms. We're getting right to this. This is it, Ben. Can you take it? Can you take the pressure?
I don't think he can. He didn't bring any notes or paper.
I'm not going to lie to you guys. Maybe like a few days ago, I got an email from my school, and I made the dean's list.
All right.
So I think I'm ready.
Well, this is a whole different ball game.
Then consider me dean. Okay. And
Dean Ellis.
All right. So for you and maybe the audience who may not be aware, we have our very first segment of the show where we take you across the nation. That's right. We're going to do national news. All right. So our first story relates to an octopus. Ever hear about that animal before?
It's the one that lives with SpongeBob, right?
That's a squid. Close.
Yeah, close enough.
Think about like the Beatles song. You know, in 1969, the Beatles blessed us with the song Octopus's Garden. Or is it Octopi's Garden? So since then, the world has wondered if being in an octopus's garden was as wonderful as Ringo made it out to be. Or was he just high on some Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds? Do we know that? It's been many years of speculation, but we believe we finally have the answer to this very pressing question. From the experience of a Washington State woman in a fishing derby getting her face sucked by an octopus, we have concluded that you should take your yellow submarines out of the octopus's garden and maybe to someplace less extreme like Penny Lane or, I don't know, Abbey Road.
I hope that's not a euphemism, or what is it called? Euphemism.
I'm just making Beatles references. I listened to Yellow Submarine on the ride here, so I apologize. All right, so back to the story at hand. So a Miss Jamie Bisceglia.
Great last
Sounds like a
name.
Fish name, too. It kind of works.
Amazing.
Do you ever... it's like catching a big Bisceglia in the ocean. You'd believe that if I told you
I
that,
hate
right?
the smell of fish.
Then you'll hate Miss Jamie Bisceglia. So with her South Sound Salmon sisters, sounds like a really bad biker gang, they were at a fishing derby when they stumbled upon a group of fishermen with an octopus that they actually caught. So channeling her inner Ringo Starr, Bisceglia couldn't resist the opportunity to take a photo with this cute little octopussy cat. How did she pose with this octopath traveler, you might ask? Well, by putting it on her face, of course. Obviously. I can go into great detail as to what it's like Frenching an octopus, but I'll let this quote from Bisceglia do the job for me instead. So this is what she said. I mean, I thought this was pretty cool. It was a gorgeous, exotic creature, and I put it on my face and said, "Take my picture." Then all of a sudden, they notice, and I notice, my eyes just widened, and it had put its beak into my chin. Not once, but twice.
People will do anything for the vine.
For views, anything for views. It was like a barbed hook going into my skin. Yeah, not too pleasant.
Honestly, she should have just put it on her head.
She was one of those edgy kids that put it on her face.
Now
Yeah.
everyone's wearing the Splatoon hats.
Yeah. Now she's feeling consequences.
So after getting the passionate lover of a sea creature off of her face, Bisceglia would actually continue her participation in the derby for 2 days. She committed, and she couldn't take the pain. For 2 days, she was able to do it, but then after a while, she's like, you know what? I can't see all these fish with the redness in my eyes, so I probably have to go to the hospital. So it later turned out that the octopus injected her with venom, just like a certain Tom Hardy that we know. She's on antibiotics right now, so let's hope that she doesn't cross any octopaths with this venomous critter.
That was beautiful, Brandon.
That was amazing.
Thank you.
You get 8 stars for 8 tentacles.
That's kind of perfect. All right. The fun doesn't stop there. We actually have another story for national news.
Do tell.
So
Can't
we talked
I'm
about
begging.
an octopi for a while. Can we talk about another animal? Specifically Homo sapiens. I'm quite a fan. I think humans are definitely a spirit animal of mine.
Humans are up there.
They're pretty nice. All right, so we live in a politically divided country. No one could agree on anything except for maybe one thing. We love white, shiny teeth. Just listen to this clip that I have for you about, it's from the show Fairly Odd Parents, and it's the famous pop star, not Justin Timberlake,
Chip
Skylark, singing My Shiny Teeth and Me. Let's hit it.
My shiny teeth that twinkle just like the stars in space. My shiny teeth that sparkle and beauty to my face.
Yeah, so I think everyone can agree that even if you're a metalhead or you're into electronica, you like that song and you like Shiny Teeth.
That's a classic.
Honestly, this is a closes the age gap. If you're 12,
Honestly.
if you're 65, if you're about to die, you're gonna love
Chip
this song.
Skylark could have stopped the Civil War from happening.
Probably.
If only he was alive or was real and not in a cartoon. So anyway, while all white teeth were loved in the year 2002 when that episode came out, things are a little different in 2019. A lot of people on social media are looking into an Instagram photo from the dental company Hi Smile and are picking it apart like Simon Cowell on a bad day. So the photo on the surface, it's pretty simple, guys. It's just a woman smiling. Simple, right? And she's exposing her luscious pearly whites. Instead of the usual 32 teeth that a normal human mouth has, let's round it to about 60. There's 60 teeth. And it's not a giant, like, great white shark mouth. It's like a human mouth, but for some reason they photoshopped 60 or so teeth. It's like the new Two Girls, One Cup. It's a very disgusting image of
my
like
God.
60 teeth. I mean, you'd think you were looking at like a poster from Shark Week. That's how bad it was.
Or Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Maybe. So, as if Hi Smile already got their own meme, they wrote this for the caption. Will whiten all your teeth. Tag a friend to trigger them. They knew it was triggering. And almost on cue, the World Wide Web was triggered. Who would have thought? We can
Everybody.
pretty much sum up all the comments about the ad with 2 words. Nightmare fuel. Even with gorgeous white teeth, we're not sure if Hi Smile customers will ever be able to sleep again. I know I won't. Ben, what do you think of that story?
Honestly, if that person with the 60 teeth showed up to me and was like, hi, I'd be like, bye, and I'd be running as far away as possible because I don't want them to nibble me. I don't want them to bite me. It'd probably hurt, like, like
I think I know.
the great below.
I have a pit bull. I think I know what
Yeah.
a bad bite feels like.
Yeah. And like a pit bull, I don't want it anywhere near my baby.
Exactly. Or your future babies. Okay, so we got
Yikes.
about one more national story, and then we'll get our plane ticket and go to some other country for
I
international.
didn't bring my
So
passport.
let's finish it up with one more story.
Okay, Ben's going to share his passport with me.
All right, it's no secret that karma will catch up with you, or in this case, catch up with you. Let me explain.
Another ketchup story.
A ketchup story, yes. A resident was enjoying her time at a New Jersey diner when a ketchup bottle immediately caught her eye. You know, ketchup is a girl's best friend. That's what they always say. While most
I've always
diner
seen myself
patrons,
as a mustard man.
well,
That's
for
a
women
great
it's ketchup, for
superhero.
men it's mustard. So while most diner patrons would use some ketchup and then move on with their lives, she took her ketchup fetish to the next level, going so far as to take the entire bottle. Time passed by since the incident, and life happened. Wanted posters were out, and a witch hunt ensued. Many lives were lost, and chaos erupted in the world since this truly horrific event. All sarcasm aside, the owner, Maria De Leo, was closing the restaurant. Then she discovered a note outside the front door with 2 ketchup bottles and a receipt. Here's what the note read. A few weeks ago, I had taken one of your ketchup bottles off the table because for some odd reason, I thought it'd be risky. I am as square as they come, and this was the worst thing I've done. Well, a few hours after I did it, someone crashed into my car. And since then, my karma, luck, and life has been a certain word I can't say on radio. I hope returning 2 new bottles will restore some luck for me, and I could stop carrying around the guilt. So although stealing ketchup is a heinous crime worthy of the death penalty, let's be honest here, De Leo was touched by this gesture and offered that she would consider hiring the thief if they actually stepped up to the plate. So if you take something out of this story, take this. 2019 is your year to be a condiment thief.
I don't know where people get the mental state to think that this is a heinous crime, because not even 30 minutes ago, my friend came over to my house and told me that he crashed his cars 3 times, and one of them was in a school bus full of elementary school kids. So I don't even think that qualifies on the level of heinous.
Karma got to that boy. He probably stole a whole bunch of ketchup packets from a school cafeteria.
And here's the thing. No points on his license. He's clean.
There's nothing clean about that.
That's because he accidentally slipped on the ketchup that he stole.
I don't think this has to do with ketchup anymore. I think this just has to do with sheer luck.
I think your friend is very good at talking himself out of a bad
I think
situation.
we spent enough time in this country. I think it's time we go into our next segment, and we call that International News. And with that, we go around the world, across the globe, and see the latest fails in life. So let's go. Where are we going first?
A lot of absurdity here outside of the U.S. We're going to go all over. So with our first story, we're going to the U.K.
All right, fish and chips. Let's go.
Fish and chips.
Raise your pinkies, my friends.
Time to get fancy.
The research conducted at a university in the UK is mutually beneficial to us here in America. So, what do you think the biggest threat to our daily lives in 2018 is? Climate change, disease, overpopulation, all these pressing issues. Well, if you ask me, seagulls stealing our snacks while we enjoy our days at the beach is the most pressing issue in our lives today. Thankfully, researchers at the University of Exeter in the UK have been studying seagull behavior and have found a way to combat the snack stealers. In their study, the research team placed a bag of chips, otherwise known as French fries here in the States.
Oh, you had to clarify.
I had to
Again,
clarify.
I'm not a British resident.
Not everybody knows. They placed the chips down on the ground in front of them. Then they had 2 separate experiments take place. One where the team was near the gulls but not staring at them as they approached. And then the other experiment was where the team would stare down the gulls as they approached the fries. And on average, it took the gulls about 21 seconds longer to steal the fries when you were staring at them. So we're going to take away from this study, if you don't want the seagulls to steal your snacks at the beach, stare them down with your best 1,000-yard stare.
I mean, I would do that, but I've gotten comments that if I stare at someone, it's a little bit seductive. It's sort of like the bedroom eyes. So I don't want to do that to seagulls.
Yeah, I know.
I'm
what
not
you
into
mean.
that.
Sometimes when I stare at them too long, they wink at me, and then they twirl their hair too. So
Look, honestly, if a seagull's gonna take my snack, like, go take it, man. I didn't want it anyway. Like,
are you sure you brought it with you?
I brought it with me, but if I wasn't gonna eat it, I'll just give it to a seagull. I was in Italy, and I was just giving I was giving pigeons on the ground just chips that I was eating, just like, go eat it, guys.
See, Ben's on a little bit of a diet. He's trying to lose some weight.
Yeah.
So you're just invalidating all this painstaking research that these researchers
I guess I
have
am.
conducted.
I mean, there's other things to research, like why does chocolate melt in my hand while I'm eating it?
Okay, I see. We're going to move on to our second story because we don't have time to debate all this, but good input. I do like your input.
For the sequel show.
For the sequel show when you're back. So, moving on to our second story. Now everybody knows about the Chernobyl disaster of 1986. A nuclear reactor had a meltdown which deemed the surrounding cities unsafe. All of the citizens of these cities had to evacuate, and no consumer products have spawned from this area. Until now. The Chernobyl Spirit Company has released its own vodka, aptly named Atomic. This vodka is the first consumer product to come from Chernobyl since the meltdown. Here's a question.
All right. So we're getting one step closer to Fallout.
Yes.
The video game series Fallout.
Mhm.
Or Fallout Boy.
No, Fallout. Not Fallout Boy. We're already at Fallout Boy, but we're getting closer to Fallout.
So we're getting rid of the boy.
We're getting rid of
Probably
the boy.
going to give the boy some vodka.
Give
crash
some boy
his car. Maybe karma got to him after he stole some ketchup.
Give him a
We're talking
third
about
eye.
stories
Fallout
right
drunk.
now. All right, so continue, Ben.
No, that was it.
That was it? Okay. So
Okay.
continue your story, Scott.
So, this vodka comes from, I just said it comes from Chernobyl. And some mates may say, is this safe? You may be asking that yourself. Doesn't this contain dangerous amounts of radiation? Well, the answer is no. True, the artisan vodka is made from rye grain and water from the Chernobyl exclusion zone, but any chemist will tell you that once a liquid has been distilled, the impurities leave it. So this is a completely safe vodka to drink, as safe as any alcohol can be to consume.
Yeah, it's
This
just from Chernobyl. Who
It's
said
just-
that they were
yeah.
safe for the longest time until it really wasn't safe.
Like that.
Exactly.
Adios. Researchers in this area say that abandoned forests and farmlands have promise thanks to this vodka. They have their proof now with this vodka that they've distilled. So, now that they've made this and it's safe, who knows what else they can make from these farmlands that have been abandoned.
I mean, if you can make perfectly good vodka, maybe you can make perfectly good food.
You could, yeah.
Maybe you could stop global warming
Yeah.
or solve world hunger. I don't know. Or just enjoy your vodka.
Or give people horrible radiation poisoning.
It's sure better than radiation
Drink your
poisoning.
iodine,
so,
kids.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, we're going to move on to our third and final international story.
Make it count, Scott. Where are we
I'm-
going
Come on,
now?
let's
I
do
can
it.
barely count, but I'm going to try to make this one count. I can only count up to 3. So, one of the best parts of the human experience is celebrating birthdays. They truly can be a special occasion filled with laughs, dancing, and of course, cake. But the least fun part about a birthday just may be cutting the cake itself. It can be hard to gauge just how much cake you slice when you cut it. You don't want as much when you cut it. You want more. Whatever.
Scott, I could tell you from experience as a triplet. There's 3 people with knives trying to cut the cake. So sometimes
That's a hassle.
every birthday, I just expect I'll lose a hand and have to get it back. So my birthday is just getting my hand back. That's my present.
Well, there's
I don't
something
get-
else you can
I
do
don't
with
get an
your
Xbox,
hand
I just get
now.
a hand.
There's something else you can do with your hand now for your birthday instead of cutting the cake.
What's that?
Thankfully, a group of young men from northern India have a solution to your cake cutting problem specifically.
Really?
An unnamed 24-year-old man took out a pistol and shot his own birthday cake. And in my mind, this went something like this.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration? And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee.
Just like that. Instead of singing the happy birthday song, you're quoting a scene from Pulp Fiction and shooting your birthday cake.
Wanted to make it seem a little bit more WGBB oriented with the.
What's going through this man's head? Let's just think about it. Maybe he wasn't having a good day. He had a long day of work. He got home, and maybe he didn't want cake. Maybe he wanted like an ice cream cake or something, and his wife got him just a normal cake. So
Well,
he's just like, that's it. Boom,
That's
boom,
what I
boom.
was thinking too. But here's what actually happened.
What happened?
Him and his friends went to an undisclosed location and filmed a video of him putting the cake on the ground and him shooting it. It was him with his friends.
Oh, so it's just a meme.
And with that, we're going to move on to our local segment.
All right, let's do it. So we're going to go to our local segment of the show. News that has happened on the island to your neighbors, so potentially it could happen to you. So take this a little seriously, maybe more so than international. Not everyone's getting Russian vodka.
We're getting shooting their
All right,
cakes.
so I call this the Bagel Boss Boxer. So last show, we talked about the Bagel Boss viral video. In case anyone who doesn't know, it was only last month when we were blessed with that wonderful viral video of the short dude from Bagel Boss having a meltdown. We actually have that clip of from Bagel Boss of the guy freaking out.
Everywhere I go, I get the same smirk with the biting lip. Why is it okay for women to say, oh, you're 5 feet on dating sites? You should be dead? That's okay?
Who said that to you here? Nobody.
women in general have said it on dating sites. You think I'm making up? Dude, you want to step outside? You want to step outside? Huh? I'm not
Legend.
standing, pal. Go ahead and attack me, big.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
All you women should shut that.
Right, I think we get the idea now. Ben, you had something to say?
See, I actually work at a bagel store. Check out Wanta Bagels near the entrance to
Shameless
the
plug.
Wanta Park and the entrance also to Jones Beach. But I get so many customers that are almost exactly like that. Just a bunch of overgrown babies.
I wouldn't say he's overgrown. He is not to like pick on his height, but he's about maybe under 5 feet.
And very short-tempered.
Short-tempered.
So
for a
short all
man.
around.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, I'm used to this. When I saw this guy going viral, I'm just like, that's
Nothing
just a normal
surprises you
Tuesday for
anymore.
me.
But anyway, so we had that, and while we hope that this bagel boss wasn't hurt too badly, him being the boss, he was tackled at the end of the video, so we're hoping he wasn't too hurt. But we here on Nonsense News Nation are itching to know what is coming next for our favorite living meme. Fortunately, I'm here to let you know that the fun did not stop there. Although he was unable to make it to the studio at WGBB, I mean, we really tried. Ben, you're the next best thing. You could relate, right?
Oh, he's better than that
Oh,
guy.
I understand.
So unfortunately, he wasn't able to come to us. He was able to make it to a small little show. I mean, nothing like us. The Howard Stern show.
Yeah.
For some,
Maybe you heard of him.
I don't know. You probably didn't.
Who's that?
For some odd reason, he was with a celebrity boxing promoter, Damon Feldman, in the hopes of challenging one of Stern's staff, Shuli Edgar, to a fight. He
How tall is this man? Big man?
probably average sized.
He's the big man? The kid from Anyway.
Although initially turning the Hobbit person down, Edgar said that he was open to a boxing match with the Bagel Boss himself if he was paid $20,000 up front. Barely affording to market himself on a dating profile like Tinder, he was unable to actually fund this fight, but at least we got more action from this living legend.
You know, I think the Bagel Boss little guy now has a new nickname, Brandon. Little Mac. He wanted to box. He's going to box.
I don't think he's as good as Little Mac, honestly.
Okay, so
also-
new Little Mac.
New Little Mac.
I just looked up. He's 5 foot exactly.
5 foot, all right.
What a shame.
What a
Anyway,
lucky number.
we're going to move on to sports, where, as we know, that our sports segment doesn't talk about statistics. We don't talk about players. We talk about the most wild things in the sporting world.
It barely even constitutes as sports, but we have some fun. So let's get this ball going.
Let's get this ball rolling. We're going to talk about an extremely competitive and riveting sport known as karaoke.
Oh my god.
A sport that Brandon and I hold so close to our hearts, but not to our lungs. A 65-year-old man in southern China was hospitalized after a marathon karaoke session left him with a collapsed lung. Describing the injury, the unnamed patient said, "I was very excited in the heat of the moment, and after singing a few songs with very high notes, I had trouble breathing. It is unclear which songs the man was singing, but if I had to guess, it probably wasn't Old Town Road. Probably wasn't.
It's
No.
probably Bohemian Rhapsody on an endless loop.
On an endless
Probably
loop.
All-Star too.
Okay. Anyway, we're going to move on to fails also, which is a conjoined segment with sports. My fail is definitely a fail to Ohio lawmakers, but a win for many citizens of the same state. So this past Wednesday, Ohio lawmakers inadvertently legalized marijuana. And here's how. Governor Mike DeWine signed Senate Bill 57 into law. This law legalizes hemp in the state of Ohio. The only way to differentiate hemp from marijuana is the amount of THC, the psychoactive component in the flower itself. If the flower has less than 0.3 THC, then it's hemp. If it's above that, it's marijuana. The fail is that all testing labs in Ohio can't detect the amount of THC in the flower. They can only detect the presence of it. So there's no way to test to see if the flower itself is hemp or it's the other. So they
So
legalized.
let's say I'm picking roses,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to make maybe my sweetie likes a little hemp. How am I gonna know?
There's no way to test for it, Brandon. You can only test if there
You
is
just gotta
THC.
roll it up and try it.
And that here
Not
concludes.
in New York State.
that concludes our fails segment.
All right. So, I mean, we had one more story, but we'll save that for next show. Don't worry, there will be a next show.
Okay.
We'd like to thank Ben for coming into the studio. What an honor. Incredible.
Thank you
I
so
think
much.
he passed his final exam of being a part of the crew
That's
in some
right.
way. So, Ben, what an honor.
You had a lot of great input on this show, and we really do appreciate you coming down.
Thank you so much. And just a few words for you guys. Thank you for letting me be on your show. And thank you for giving me a little airtime as well.
Pleasure. But unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. If you want to sponsor the show or become a guest on the show, you can contact us at nonsensenewsradio@gmail.com. That's nonsensenewsradio@gmail.com. On behalf of all the dolts and dummies in the world, thank you for keeping our zany little show afloat. And thank you for listening. All right, tune in. I believe it's
August
August
24th.
Okay, that's right. For at 2 p.m. for the next edition of our show. That's your news with a comedic twist, only on WGBB, Long Island's oldest radio station.